Well, hello everyone. Welcome to a new season of NFL Fantasy Matchup. We're all back after a quiet time where we didn't get a chance to talk, and here we are back. Jed, Jimmy, welcome back, everyone.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. There's first season today. There's a lot of different players on the board and where they're going to be picked. So I'm looking forward to this year. I think it's going to be an interesting year as well too.
Yeah, Hall of
Yeah,
Fame game is going on. We missed the draft, or at least we didn't record for the draft, but we
hmm
got we got plenty going on.
or a busy NFL free agency. Hey, look, I know a lot of times when you start with the rankings, and we're going to talk about Jameer Gibbs, we're going to talk about Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, all of those things. I actually want to start off today, and Jed, I'll start off with you. I want to get your thoughts on some of the players because we weren't on the free agency podcast. I'd love to get your thoughts on some of the players who have moved. For instance, a lot of times, Kenneth Walker, who was previously with the Seattle Seahawks, now with the Kansas City Chiefs. Jed, what's your thought on Kenneth Walker?
Oh man, see, you always do this in our podcast. You pick the guys that I'm hoping will stay under the radar. I mean, you all know we have loved Seattle running backs, right? We have been all over that. It's a great scheme in Seattle, but Kenneth Walker, if you guys remember, right at the end of the season was carrying the team for
Especially at the
sure.
Super. He was the MVP of the Super Bowl this
Exactly.
past year.
MVP
Yeah.
of the Super Bowl, going to Kansas City now. And Kansas City, we've always, in our podcast, we've pretty much always said stay away from the Kansas City backs, or it's kind of dangerous to go with the Kansas City backs. But I think this is a situation, Mahomes, I think they got to do something different. Like they know they've had success, but they want to go back to they want to get over the final hump. And so I think you're going to see Kenneth Walker really featured there. I like that pick a lot. I like that as a free agent
Mhm.
pick.
Yeah, very good. Jim, what about yourself? A lot of times, one of the guys that we're looking at, and we're going to spend a lot of time talking with them, David Montgomery from the Detroit Lions over to the
Houston.
Houston Texans. Thoughts?
I mean, you never know, right? I mean, Houston, CJ Stroud was supposed to be one of the top quarterbacks from a couple of years ago. He's never really kind of come to fruition. Nico Collins, we'll talk about it later on. The last 2 years, he was projected in the first two rounds. My guess is this year he might go in the fourth round. So they are going to rely on him. I just don't know if Montgomery has it. I mean, out of the three running backs, Walker going to the Chiefs, ETN going to the Saints, I will put Montgomery third in terms of impact that he's going to make.
Well,
I
I would
also,
pen. Oh, go ahead, Jed.
I was just going to say, I also think you got to think about what happens to Detroit. It's really interesting how everyone just thinks, oh, Gibbs is going to take all those carries and it's going to be great. I don't know. You're having this 1-2 punch is really helpful, keeps everyone
Yeah.
rested. I think it's a little bit different. But that's why I'm a little bit worried for Detroit players. I know Detroit offensive players, we've always been like, man, you get a lot of points there. I'm on Ross St. Brown, of course, but I don't know. I'm a little worried about
Yeah.
Detroit.
Some of the times, I think what we've seen in the past is when there's a player that's hyped so much, and everyone thinks that he's going to be like the number one. It doesn't come to fruition. So I'm the same way with you, right? He's the number one ranked player in fantasy this year. But honestly, if I were to choose between him and Bijan Robinson, I'm going to go with Bijan Robinson.
Yeah. Now, Jim, going back to David Montgomery, the one thing I do love about David Montgomery is the goal line. He gets the
Yes.
goal line touches, the touchdowns. I mean, who is he going against? They don't no longer have Joe Mixon. You have Woody Marks. I don't see Woody Marks
Mhm.
going in constantly running for a touchdown. So every single time they get near, there he is.
Well, Montgomery always every year he was one of my favorite like late round picks because you could get him so cheap. You could get him for good value. Everybody always downplays Montgomery. So yeah, this might be another year to do the same. We
Yeah.
also didn't talk about Jeremiah Love in Arizona. You guys know I've always been a James Conner down in Arizona fan. Now with Jeremiah Love, I think that's a pretty exciting one. Someone to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, let's.
I'm looking at the list of free agents right now, right? Like you wide receivers, you got Mike Evans who went from the Bucks to the 49ers. You got DJ Moore who went from the Bears to the Bills.
Bills, yeah.
Pittman went from Colts to Steelers. I actually like that. Pittman going from the Colts to the Steelers. Quarterback wise, you got Kyler Murray in Minnesota. You got Tua who went from Dolphins to Falcons. And then you got Malik Willis, who's going to be a starter in Miami as well too.
Yeah. Now, I would probably say a lot of times the one guy that I love the most is AJ Brown go over to New England Patriots. Is there's really
Hmm.
no wide receivers over in New England. Drake May is such a stud quarterback. I think he's going to have a great year. The guy who I'm really going to be frustrated with that I won't draft is Mike Evans. He's going from Tampa Bay to the San Francisco 49ers. I know Ricky Pearsall is injured out for the year. They signed Debo Samuel, but yet at the same time, I don't know. I think a lot of times Mike Evans had a great thing over in Tampa Bay. I just don't think he's going to see the same thing over in San Francisco.
Remember our trade, Jed. The question is, are you going to keep McCaffrey this year?
Oh, I'm definitely keeping him.
Because this could be the year. Because you remember, every other year, whenever he's hyped, he always gets injured.
Yeah, he gets hurt.
And that's the question for McCaffrey. I think, Purdy's there. Mike Evans is old. Samuel is old. Um, and so really, are they going to be able to rely on McCaffrey this year as well too?
Yeah, but I'm not trading him. I'm keeping him. He's gonna be a
Yeah.
keeper for sure. Yeah, the one thing I was gonna mention was when we talk about running backs, Achan in Miami. I know
Miami,
he's
yeah.
pretty high on some of the lists,
That's
but
because
I
they have
just
nobody else. They have like nobody. I mean, everyone's gone from that team.
yeah, but in my mind, that's why it's like, well, if you're the defense, it's like obvious who you got to stop. So
Hmm.
I just don't like that scenario. So he's somebody I'm downgrading in all my RB lists.
Yeah. Jed, actually, let me go with you. A lot of times when we talk about tier one, all of us will pick up Jameer Gibbs. Then you'll look at Bijan Robinson. A lot of people are calling ADP Christian McCaffrey about the fourth or fifth round pick.
Yep.
Would you go that high? I mean, Jonathan Taylor, who would you go with, Christian McCaffrey or Jonathan Taylor?
I mean, I'm a McCaffrey fan, so I really like, and I got bit by Taylor. I think 2 years ago, I drafted him pretty high, didn't pay out. So, but honestly, after that, you're right at that tier where if you're down to Christian McCaffrey, you have to start thinking about your wide receivers too. And we will talk about, I'm sure, Jamar Chase, Puka Nakua, but man, Jackson Smith and Jake Buck, that's the guy that I have never had him on my team, and that's a guy I think, man, I would really like
Yeah,
to get a hold of him.
yeah. And he's going around the same time as McCaffrey, right?
Yep.
Jackson Smith is projected in number 5. McCaffrey's projected in number 6. Look, I'm going to go for Jackson Smith because I do think he has a higher ceiling, and I think he's going to continue to connect with Sam Darnold and have a good year as well too.
Yeah, Jim, I also know that you love, love, love Chase Brown of the University of Illinois, who is in Cincinnati. Would you want to go after a Chase Brown or Ashton Genty?
I was all in on Chase Brown last year. Really, I was all in. But if you realize he did not do anything, I mean, part of it is what is it? Joe Burrow went out maybe the second or third game, and I remember when I found out, I was so mad because I was all in last year on Chase Brown and Burrow. So I don't know if I necessarily want to take that chance this year. If I were to take the chance, I mean, around that time, I go after the Ashton Genty. I go after James Cook. To be honest, right now, I also think that Omarion Hampton, who's projected to go number 14 at the Chargers, I actually think is going to have a good year. I mean, Justin Jefferson went from what, number 1, number 2 last year to the number 11 projected pick. So I think there's a lot of good value in players around the pick that Chase Brown's going to be coming in at.
Jed, you know how much I love my players. Omarion Hampton. Remember, I just kept picking him up
Yep.
everywhere. I loved Omarion Hampton.
Oh, Tom, can I say so? Okay, here's the reason why, and this is one of those reasons I'm sure Tommy will go after him, right? But I'm hoping no one pays attention to Omarion Hampton in our leagues because Omarion Hampton, you know whom Omarion Hampton has this year? Mike McDaniels. Mike McDaniels is nuts. He's
Yeah.
crazy, but
Yeah.
he's a great offensive coordinator, right? So he's got Herbert, he's got Lad McConkey, he's got Omarion Hampton. I think San Diego's offense is going to be really good this year.
Yeah, and he's a three back. You're not going to take him out. He could catch. He's going to be there all the time. Now, the only thing that hampered him was injuries, but let's
Hmm.
see how he does in his second year.
Yeah,
What do you guys
I know
think
we're
of
not talking.
Las Vegas? You guys think Las Vegas with Kirk sitting up there now? You think they're going to come back a little bit? That's when you were asking about Ashton Genty. That's my concern. Is just last year was definitely disappointing.
Hmm.
Yeah. I really, hey, look, he's one of my top one. He's going to go ahead of Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley. I probably would pick Hampton over Genty, but yet at the end of the day, I will probably bypass Cook, Henry, Barkley, all those guys.
Real okay. So here rank them. If you had to pick between Genty, Cook, and Hampton, who would you pick first?
Hampton and Genty.
Really? How about you, Jed?
That's tough. I mean, Cook is. I like. DJ Moore was not a great fit in Chicago. I think he's a
Yeah,
great fit with Josh Allen, which I
yeah,
think is going to help James Cook. So I like Cook
yeah,
out of that group. I think I still would go with Cook.
All
yeah.
right, so
Me too. I would.
Jim, let me ask
Yeah.
you then this question then, the follow up question. Jeremiah Love, would he supersede everyone?
You know, here's the thing that I've learned. And last year I was thinking about it. I went really high on rookies last year, right? Like I went after the Genties of the world, the Hamptons of the world. There's only so many rookies that are going to exceed expectations that first year, unless you're in a dynasty league. I think I'm going to really try to stay away from rookies this year. Dynasty is different, right? But I think the second year backs is really it, right? Like, so this is the year you go after the Hamptons. Like, this is the year that if you're going to pick someone, you're going to go after Genties. Last year, I went too fast and I did not do too well.
Yeah, but Jed, you love Jeremiah Love, so he's
I
pretty high up
know.
there, right?
Yeah, he is. I'm seeing him up there, but I think that's too high, honestly. I wouldn't take him
No, yeah.
above any of those backs we just mentioned. I think he should be more like maybe third round. But I do like his situation, and his yeah, just his projection off of college is really strong. But
But
I
you're
get.
okay. You're the guy who spends tons of money on these rookies, right? You did that with Wemby. You did
Hmm.
that with who else did you spend tons of money on the last couple of years?
Hmm.
Um, are you going to spend lots of money on Jeremiah Love?
Yeah, probably not. In football, it's different, and like you said, like keeper league or dynasty league versus the regular pickup, it's different. So I
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't do that this year with Jeremiah Love.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Jed, Jim, the two players that I think will stay below everyone's radar that I'm hoping that no one pay attention to, the rookie from Seattle, Jadarian Price, and coming out of injury, Scatabo. I like Scatabo a lot. I think he'll do
Mm.
well.
See, the players I'm paying attention to that I hope no one's going to pick up fast. Javante Williams, I do think that he's going to actually have
Yeah.
another
Uh
good
huh.
year. Malik Neighbors, because he's injured last year, he's projected to go number 34. I think people are going to overlook him. And Emeka Abuka, I think, is going to be overlooked as well too. And those are the three I'm really focused on.
But staying within running backs, which other running backs are you looking at? Is it Scatabo? Is it Juckins? Is it last year you like Travion Henderson? Is it those guys or Harvey? Do you like RJ Harvey over at Denver?
Hmm. You know what? Here's my thing. I'm just looking through the list right now. Around that place, right after a Jeremiah Love, right? You have Brees Hall, you have a Kyron Williams, you have a Javante Williams, a Josh Jacobs is coming in, and then you have all the way a Scatable. Um, I don't know. I actually really think that if I'm gonna focus on this year, Javante Williams is gonna be high on my list. I always try to stay away from Brees Hall. I just don't think that he's going to do anything. I'm going to stay away from Kyron Williams. But I am going to think that Travis Etienne is going to bounce back this year. I do think he's going to do well.
Jed, you just heard Jimmy says he's going to avoid Kyron Williams. Do you agree or
Yeah.
disagree with that?
Uh Actually, I disagree with that. I think the Rams this year, this could be a nice bounce back.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big Javante Williams guy. I don't like Dallas' situation. I think that's something that I would look to avoid. So no, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Really? You don't think that Javante Williams is? I mean, their offense is good.
Yeah.
You're gonna have two good receivers in Pickens as well as CeeDee Lamb. I do think that it's going to open up some running game. and he's good at catching the ball, right? So they're going to need someone to dump that ball off. So that's why, for me, I know last year I was really skeptical on Javonte Williams, but I do think that this year, like, I mean, honestly, the people coming after him, I'm just going through the list, right? You got Montgomery, you got Scadaboo, you've got ETN, you've got Josh Jacobs, you've got Kyron Williams, Brees Hall. I actually think Javonte Williams has the higher upside versus all of those guys.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. Like I said, it certainly makes sense in Dallas. A lot of offense. I don't know. I just don't. I don't feel good about Dallas' situation this year. They're just so. I feel like they're so volatile, and
Yeah.
they're not the kind of they're not the winning team they have been in the past. And
Yeah.
so of those guys you mentioned, I mean I do think Josh Jacobs is interesting. I think Kyron Williams is interesting. I probably would look at either of those guys ahead. Ahead.
I was just listening to ESPN. You know why they're staying away from? You know why Josh Jacobs is going so low this year? His legal troubles. They said the
Uh,
reason why he's so down this year is because he got himself in trouble during the summer. They don't know if he's going to be suspended, and so everyone's just kind of waiting. So that's why he's dropped so much this year.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of times everyone wants Jameer Gibbs as the lead back, but Bijan Robinson last year caught 79 of 99 targets for 820 receiving yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. In your
Yeah.
world, is there any way you ever pick Bijan Robinson over Jameer Gibbs?
Oh, I could see doing that. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't think Detroit's offense has been the same ever since they lost the Bears court the Bears head
Yeah.
coach. So I would not have any issue with anyone saying I'm going to pick Bijan Robinson over Jameer Gibbs. To me, they're one A and one B.
Yeah, yeah. I do think that the safe pick is Bijan Robinson, right? He's going to get you consistent rushing numbers. He's going to get you consistent production, especially now that he's got the primary goal line responsibilities. I do think that he's going to be good, right? But the upside of Jameer Gibbs is pretty high. And so you could do really, really well with Jameer Gibbs, but Bijan's going to be the safer pick.
Yeah. Jim, let me ask you a quick question. Going back to the Kyron Williams, a 50-50 backfield timeshare rarely produces a top 15 fantasy back. Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, he's in his third year. What do you think of Blake Corum?
I mean, I guess I'm going to take a step back, right? Really, I'm not sure about Matthew Stafford. I know last year he was the MVP. Last year he went into training camp with a back that really wasn't all there, and everyone was really trying to decide, okay, is he even going to make it through the entire year? And he became the MVP. I just don't know if I want to bank on him to do it the second year in a row. I think Puka Nakua is going to be good. But I just don't trust the other players around him.
Yeah. Jed, any of the other players that no one thinks about, are you even looking at Kenneth Gainwell? Is he a sleeper? Blake Corum, we were talking about. What do you think about Derrick Henry?
I was just gonna say the person you guys know I love Derrick Henry. Everybody sleeps on him every year. It says that he's
Every
getting
year
too
I keep
old.
thinking that he's not going to make
Yep.
it.
Everyone every year thinks he's too old and he's not.
Yeah, yeah,
Man, I'll take a Derrick Henry. You put a Derrick Henry in, towards the end of the second round, I got no problem with that. He's solid. He's consistent. Baltimore always, bounces back with their offense. I love Derrick Henry. And I think last
yeah.
year Derrick Henry had the most rushes of over 20 yards of any running back, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I do think, okay, do you guys think Baltimore's going to be better with Lamar this year? Because last year they were so bad. Do you think Lamar is going to come back and bounce back this year?
Yeah, it's every other year he does well.
Exactly. It's every other
Yeah,
year.
every other
Exactly.
year. It's just the every other year.
Yep.
Yeah. Jim, what about this one? Here's a group. Would you like Bucky Irving, Tony
hmm
Pollard, Jalen Warren, or Ricky Dowdle?
I think I'll go after Bucky Irving. I think that group is the safest. I do think Tampa Bay is actually going to have a pretty decent year. The other ones, there's so many questions with them. There's a number of other players that I much rather pick that you can have around before them, right? There's a Lad McConkey. There's a Colston Loveland with the Bears, who I actually think will be better than people. Jalen Waddle is around that time. So I don't know if I necessarily want to go after those other players.
And
Chad,
you didn't mention our favorite, Luther Burden, who is like all the newspapers in Chicago every single day are talking about Luther
But
Burden.
don't you think he's so hyped right now?
He's very hyped. So I think you
Yeah,
will have to pay a high penny. But again, remember, with Ben Johnson's second year offense, Caleb
yeah.
Wilson's second year offense, who is the Amon-Ra St. Brown in the Bears offense? It's going to be Luther Burden. And
Do
so
you
if
think?
you
Okay.
think
Do you
about
think
those
at the end
numbers,
of the day, when we look back on the season, a Luther Burden is going to be better than a Roma Dunze?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's when you look at the routes that he can run and the way that they're going to be using him, that like I
yeah.
said, I think he's the Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Everyone thinks Colston Loveland is number 3 tight end right now. Do you guys think that he's that good?
I do. I love Colson. Again, in Chicago, all the training camp reports are essentially that nobody can cover him. Nobody on the
Yeah,
Bears defense can cover
Colston.
Colson
Yeah,
Loveland. Yeah, so
yeah,
I like him a lot. But I'm drinking the Kool Aid. I think the Bears offense is going to take
yeah,
another step, which seems incredible because they had such a great season last year.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it really just seems like Caleb Williams got another year. He's going to be in good shape.
You know what I was kind of thinking about? There's not that many good tight ends right now. I mean, you can name
Yeah.
the top 3: Colston Loveland, you got Trey McBride, and you got Brock Bowers.
Yep.
I've actually thought high about just taking 2 out of those 3 and just taking all the tight ends from people, so no one. Because think about it, most people give up the tight end position. They
Yep.
really do, right? So if you monopolize and took over all of those tight ends and took it away from everybody, you might have an edge right there. That's what I was thinking about the other day.
It's
yeah.
pretty
Hey,
interesting.
Jim, well, let's finish up the running back real fast and go
Mhm.
over to wide receiver for us to talk as we work on and finish up all of those things. Let's talk about some of the sleepers. Would you even look at someone like a Alvin Kamara? A lot of times, no one likes Alvin Kamara. He's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
old. Or even J.K. Dobbins or even Joe Mixon. Would you even look at who is a free agent right now, even pick him up? Because, he does have a reputation.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I'm trying to think who you could pick towards the latter rounds. Devonte Adams is going to go really low, and so I think you can kind of pick him up for really cheap this coming year. I'm trying to think of who other players that we can pick up that's pretty cheap, but I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess that kind of comes back to what we were kind of talking about before: is who do you want to pick first? Right? Do you want to pick after the running backs? Do you want to pick after the tight ends? And right now, what I'm really thinking about is I do think that there's a lot of good wide receivers you can pick towards the bottom. So my 2 priority areas to go after this year is tight ends and running backs, and then I'm sure I can get a Michael Wilson. Towards the end of some of these rounds.
Yeah, I like the idea of picking the second. Like if you have these two back situations, and
Yeah.
if you're rich, reach for the second one. So I think of in New England, Trayvon Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson. One of those
Hmm.
two guys, if you can get the second guy later, you're just taking a gamble that he's going to take over. And I think New England, like we were just talking about with AJ Brown there, I'm expecting their offensive output to go up, which means there's going to
Yeah.
be more touchdowns, more goal line touchdowns, and so there should be more points
Yeah.
there. So that's the kind of I'd rather pick someone like that than someone else.
I mean, okay. So can I? Okay, I'm going to throw out somebody, a couple of names, right? And you guys tell me. I think these wide receivers are people you can get in the later rounds that may come through for you. You've got a Jadarian Price. No, not Jadarian. You got Marvin Harrison from Arizona. You got Brian Thomas from Jacksonville, Parker Washington, Jordan Tyson, DK Metcalf, and Alec Pierce. I'm not saying they're number 1 wide receivers, but I think they're going to be legit wide receivers that you can use to complement some of your top tier running backs that you pick in the earlier rounds.
Yeah, but you know what? I think a lot of times I still have high hope for Marvin Harrison. He was a top wide receiver. It's now a different change in offensive coordinator, coach,
Yeah.
all of those things. I still will put on hopes on him. DK Metcalf, a lot of times, let's see what Mike McCartney does with him. But I
Yeah.
still have
Well,
high
that's
hopes of Marvin Harrison.
that's what I was saying is you can get those guys cheap. A lot of people might not go after those guys, right? But if you know them And if you're willing to take a chance on them, I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to go hard after a couple of players in the top rounds. And I think you can wait a little bit and get some of these good players that could potentially help you win your league.
Yeah. Hey, Jed, when we sit there and look at the top tier wide receivers, a lot of times is, look, we know the two running backs will go one or two. Would you choose any of the running backs? Is number two on your list or number three on your list? Puka Nakua, Jamar Chase, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Would you choose any of them as your number two pick?
Not as number two, but after that, I do think you at number three is where you can start thinking about it. That's what I was saying. Is it number three for running back? It's you're either looking at McCaffrey, so you're worried about injury risk,
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Taylor, so yeah, maybe James Cook. So I think that's the
Omari and
spot.
Hampton.
Yeah, so I think number
Yeah.
three, the three pick is the spot where I think you can seriously consider a wide receiver. And for me, it would be between, like, if Jamar Chase was available at number three, that's probably who I would take. But if I was four, then that's where I do think I still need to
Yeah.
skip running back and I'd probably take
Like
JSN.
like JSN or Puka Nakua. I would imagine those are the
I'm
top
not
two that you want
I
to
don't
look
know
at.
why I'm not a Puka fan. I've just never.
Yeah.
I feel like he's so high when he hits certain things, but I feel like he's not super consistent, and so
Yeah.
I don't know. I've
I
never
don't know.
been a fan.
There were maybe a number of games last year
Oh yeah,
that
he
I'm like,
single-handedly
man,
won.
that guy catches everything,
Yeah,
and now without
Yeah.
Devontae Adams there.
yeah.
But really, the question is he going to do better than JSN? And I do think my guess is this time next year we're going to look at JSN as maybe the number one or maybe number two wide receiver.
No, but guys, I still have very high hopes for Puka Nakua. Now, I know he has his legal problems, but man, he still has a great connection with Matthew Stafford. Where I'm concerned, Jed, about Jamar Chase, I had him last year, that if there's always a risk injury with Joe Burrow,
Yeah.
and if Joe Burrow is out, he is terrible. And so a lot of times it comes down to Nakua or Njigba, with Nakua is first and then Njigba.
But remember, it's the same thing with Lamar Jackson. Every other year, Joe Burrow always comes through. And Jamar Chase, when we think that he's not going to be really good, always has an amazing year, right? And so that's one of the reasons why I'm not bypass. If Jamar Chase is there at number three, I'm going to pick up a Chase. I think he's too good to pass up.
Now, Jim, Justin Jefferson was probably the one or two top wide receiver last year. We don't know anything about his quarterback. Are you risking to pick him as you head into the second round?
I don't know if I'm ready to pick him yet. And it'll be interesting to see what the preseason goes, right? Kyler Murray is most likely going to be the starting quarterback for Minnesota Vikings. And you never know. Who's it? Jefferson might turn out to be his wide receiver that he's going to go to. But right now, I'm not picking him.
Yeah, I'm surprised that all the reports out of the Minnesota camp are that it's still a competition, which just blows me away. Because you guys remember JJ McCarthy was terrible last year.
Yeah.
So I thought Kyler Murray was going to come in and just instantly win that. The fact that they haven't said that is a little bit surprising. But on the flip side, if you believe in Kyler Murray and you believe in a Justin Jefferson, you can get them cheaper because of that. So people are they're discounting that right now. So you could get, like, Justin Jefferson really should not be going outside of the top 10. But there's a chance that he's going to drop.
And remember, Kyler Murray has a 1-year contract where he's there to
he's-
prove himself, and that guy's going to want to get paid.
He
Those
goes
guys
away.
with 1-year contracts.
Stop talking about Kyler Murray, all right? He is the one that I'm hoping to bury and start picking because you know how much I love my quarterbacks toward the end of the round. I was hoping no one pick up Kyler Murray, and then somehow I get Kyler Murray and a Justin Jefferson in the third round there.
Former Oklahoma Sooner. I'm not going to miss those guys. You know that.
My guess. Okay, this is my guess of who Tom is going to go focus on. He's going to focus on a Justin Jefferson. He's going to focus on this year on Omari and Hampton is who he's going to focus on. I can see you kind of going after like a
Javonte Williams and J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, and also Scadaboo.
Yep, and Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
Scadaboo's a fun pick. That's a fun pick.
Yeah.
Okay, Scadaboo, because they're literally around the same time. Scadaboo or Lad McConkey?
Lad McConkey.
McConkey,
Yeah.
Me too. Lad McConkey.
But I do like what you were saying earlier about Neighbors. I think people have forgot about Neighbors because of the injury. and
Yeah.
he's the guy is a stud. Like remember, he came out
Okay.
with Marvin Harrison at the same time, but
Yeah.
Neighbors is better, so I would take
Right
Neighbors.
now, if you look at the latest ESPN rankings, Neighbors is projected to go number 34. Abuka is supposed to go number 35. Ahead of him, Kyron Williams, Zay Flowers, Brees Hall, Chris Olave. I was like, no, I'm going
I
after
hate
Neighbors and
Chris Olave.
Abuka.
I cannot stand Chris
And
Olave.
he just got paid, so he's
Yeah.
even less motivation.
No, I look. I'm gonna go after Neighbors and Abuka. Forget those guys. Forget Zay Flowers. Forget Olave and Brees Hall. I'm not picking any of those guys.
Yeah.
Abuka, that's an interesting one. It kind of reminds me of JSN in Seattle because he's going to be the number one guy now without Mike Evans there, and he should be able to handle it. But we have seen when a number two becomes number one, sometimes they can't
Yeah,
handle it. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see.
yeah.
Now, hey, what do you guys think of Rishi Rice? All right, because a lot of times Travis Kelsey is coming back. Rishi Rice always seems to have potential, and then gets into legal trouble.
Or he gets hurt or something. Yeah, but the talent you cannot. That guy is so fast. Every time I watch him on TV, I'm like, man, that guy's a cheat code. He's so fast.
Yeah. And then what about Devontae Smith? What's his name? Brown is gone. What do you guys think of Devontae Smith? Devontae
I think
Smith.
he's always. I think he's not. I just don't think he's a number one wide receiver. I think he's most likely going to be number two, latter half of the, towards the third, fourth, fifth rounds is going to be where he's going to be at. So
Jim, Devontae Smith reminds me of who? Deshaun Jackson. You guys remember
Mm.
Deshaun
yeah, yeah,
Yep,
Jackson?
on
yeah.
Philly.
He
Yep.
was never a number one, but once in a while, he will have these outstanding games. You pick him up and you trade for him, and you would just suck for a couple weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. My breakout rookie this year, going to wide receivers, I like Jordan Tyson out of the Saints.
Hmm.
I actually think he's going to be pretty good from
Oh, because he
Arizona
was so
State.
good at UN. Yeah, he was so good at
Hmm.
Arizona State.
Yeah, Jordan Tyson. I don't know if he can last in the NFL for a very long time, but I think people are going to realize how good that guy is. He's a sleeper I'm paying attention to this year.
Hmm.
Yes, the only problem with Tyson a lot of times when he was at Arizona State, he was
Yeah,
always getting injured versus a Carnell Tate who never got
yeah.
injured.
Yeah, but I can see a Cardinal Tate being like a Romeo Dobbs. Like he'll do okay. He'll get 600 yards and he'll maybe get like 5 or 6 touchdowns. But I do think Jordan Tyson is going to be your next Malik Neighbors. Now, whether or not he can stay, uninjured for the entire season, I don't know. But I think he's going to be a good player for us to have.
Yeah. Jed, do you like any of these wide receivers? Garrett Wilson, do you like him at all? Brian Thomas was a huge disappointment last year.
Yeah.
McMillan over in Carolina, do you like any of these guys?
Thomas is the one that's interesting. I had him. I drafted him. I think it was that either last year or the year before because of you, Tommy. That
Mm-hmm.
was my big mistake. But I do think Jacksonville
Mm-hmm.
is up prime for a bounce back. So I think
They got
Brian
Parker
Thomas.
Washington. Remember
Yeah,
how
he's
good that
sitting
guy
there.
was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think Jackson. I was just thinking about that Jacksonville is a team that there's going to be points there. So the question is just where are those points going and can you get a hold of them somewhere? So I think
Hmm.
Brian
Yeah.
Thompson, Parker Washington, someone to look at.
Yeah. Jim, you know the one player that I cannot stand, that I never pick up? Terry McLaurin. Never. I
Oh,
just don't
yeah.
like Terry McLaurin.
Well, so here's the other thing too: is Stephon Diggs just got signed yesterday with the Commanders, and so I actually think Terry
Oh,
McLaurin is
I
going
didn't
to be
see
the
that.
number 2 wide receiver. And well, I mean, how about this? McLaurin's still going to be number 1, but Stephon Diggs is really going to compete
Huh.
hard against him. Yeah, he's
That's
going to take quite
interesting.
a bit of his shares. So
Yeah. Hey, as we're talking, I'm not sure if you guys care. The Carolina Panthers are up 24-20 against the Arizona Cardinals in preseason football game.
Yeah, I heard that
yeah,
Carson Beck was looking pretty good.
is he
Yeah,
really?
Carson Beck's not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, that's what
Mm.
they're saying. Hall of
Um,
Fame game.
Okay, here I'm gonna write down. I wrote down a couple of people for us to pay attention to. Some sleepers. I don't know how well they'll do. Tutan or Tutan, whatever his name is, the rookie running back last year. He's going to become the number 1 running back this year with ETN gone. Jordan Mason out of Minnesota. He's going to be the number 1 running back as well too. I mean, we talked about Luther Burden. We talked about Jordan Tyson. Romeo Dobbs. he's going to be with New England, and so AJ Brown's going to get the primary the receptions, but Romeo Dobbs might be a good sleeper number 2 for us to look at as well too.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, the one person that you are forgetting about is Jaden Reed of Green Bay. He is probably your sole wide receiver, and I think he's going to have a decent year. Jaden Reed always has potential.
Okay, so that's what so I hesitate on Jaden Reed because, and I heard some of the commentators talking about this. They signed Christian Watson to a big contract this year. So that was a debate they had. They said, why did they sign him to such a big contract? Do they see more of a role for him now that Romeo Dobbs is gone, right? So that's one of the reasons why I would put a Christian Watson potentially higher than a Jaden Reed.
I don't know. For me, I stay away from Green Bay wide receivers. Every single year we talk about potential and it's not because I don't think they're good. I just think the offense is designed not to highlight one receiver. It's designed to be spread around, similar to Kansas City. So I just don't like that. I always just like stay away from those guys.
Except my only argument with Jed is a lot of times they lost Dobbs, and so suddenly Christian Watson will have a bigger role. But what happens with Christian Watson? Every single time he gets injured, and so eventually you only have one person you can depend on, Jaden Reed. Let's say Josh Jacobs isn't there, so there's not many players to go into.
Well, Green Bay is on a downturn. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, so I know we're almost done, but okay, a couple of names that people have been really talking about Michael Pittman with the Steelers. Do you guys think that Michael Pittman is going to bounce back this year now that he's moved on from the Colts?
I like Pittman, but I don't like his quarterback. So,
well, you don't? No, you're just biased. Okay?
I am biased. But he's an old man. He's an old man. I don't think he's got last year. What he could, it felt like he couldn't throw over 20 yards. That's what it felt like last year. Everything was dink and dunk, and that's not Pittman's forte. Pittman needs to go downfield. So I don't know. I don't like it.
Okay, Pittman or Alec Pierce, who's the new starter for Indianapolis?
Alec Pierce.
Alec Pierce got paid. He was so good. Hey, I do have one person, the one that we never talk about, Tyreek Hill. Which team do you think he'll end up on?
No.
Oh, yeah.
He's still injured. He says he still can't walk and put pressure on it. I don't think you're not going to see much coming.
Man, remember that guy was so fun to watch. Fast.
Yeah. Jalen Waddle, though, might be an interesting pickup with the new team, but yeah, Tyreek Hill is not somebody you want to pay attention to.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. How about Bears wide receivers? You like any of them?
Oh yeah, Luther Burden all day.
Really? You're going to go after Luther Burden?
I love him. I think I want a piece of the Bears offense this year. If you can't get Colston Loveland, Luther Burden is the guy.
What about the Bears running backs?
DeAndre Swift is projected to go number 48 before David Montgomery. Yeah, I don't know if I want to trust the DeAndre Swift.
And if Benungai wasn't hurt, but we know he's got soft tissue injury, so yeah, I might stay away from that. But hey, Caleb Williams, you like drafting quarterbacks late, Tommy. I would take a Caleb Williams. Probably, over a Kyler Murray. I take Caleb Williams.
Yes,
really? You're going to take a Caleb Williams?
Yeah. He's not eating junk food anymore. He's eating healthy. He's sleeping well.
I'm telling you, this is his first time to have the second year of an offensive system. That's ridiculous. So I think you're going to see leaps and bounds this year.
Yeah. By the way, Jed, I think you're going to go after DJ Moore, aren't you?
It's hard not to resist that. I really, you guys know, I just like his style. So I heard someone say the reason he didn't jive well with Caleb Williams is his route running is not precise. But that's what Josh Allen does well. They just play back, just scramble, run around. That's where DJ Moore excels, right? Like he breaks off the route. So I feel like that's a really good point to connect with Josh. So you're right. I would not mind having DJ Moore be my third wide receiver on my team.
Yeah, no, I mean, DJ Moore as a third wide receiver is actually not bad, you know?
Now, would you guys pick DJ Moore over George Pickens? I like a George Pickens.
No, but George Pickens is going to go high, right?
Yeah, he's number 2.
George Pickens is going to go pretty high. I think when you're picking the DJ Moore, you have to choose DJ Moore amongst like DJ Moore, Mike Evans, and then Dunze. I think around that is who, and Carnell Tate, for instance.
Yeah.
Those are who you're comparing him to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, hey, look, as we wrap up, there's baseball. Hey, the Cubs. I mean, do you think at the same time the Cubs have a
And the
chance against the
Sox.
Dodgers?
Hey, okay, they already beat them once,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Hmm.
I texted Tommy today. I just put on a bet for Pete Crow Armstrong to win the MVP
oh,
for this
nice,
year. The odds are actually
nice.
pretty good. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put some
Yeah,
money on him.
I like
Yeah.
it. I like it.
Yeah,
No, there's a lot of fun stuff in the sports world. I mean, here in Chicago, the other Caleb Wilson, if you guys have been watching with the Bulls, man, the hype train is high on him. But
yeah,
I want to watch him in person because that guy in the preseason in the
yeah.
Vegas league, he looked amazing.
I know most people wouldn't know this name, but I really want them to trade for a Matherian out of the Clippers and get rid of Patrick Williams. That's
Mm,
really what I've been trying to pay attention to. They got to get rid of Patrick Williams.
mm,
Versus for me, as there's still a chance, I would rather have them go after Peyton Watson than Mathurin.
mm, mm.
I'm surprised Peyton Watson's still out there as a free agent. He's just kind of sitting there.
What do you guys think of the LeBron in Philly? You guys think it's going to work?
No,
No,
I hate that guy.
I don't hate him, but it reminds me. Do you guys remember when the Lakers brought in Carl Malone,
Carl
Gary
Steve
Payton
Nash
into
and those
into
guys.
Los
Yeah,
Angeles?
yeah,
It just didn't
yeah,
work. It reminds me of that. I feel like something's
yeah,
not going to go right, even though they're all stars down there.
Maxi is your star player. He
Oh
should
yeah,
be, but then Jalen Brown's going to want to take the last shot. Embiid will not take the last shot, but then LeBron's going to want to take a shot. But Maxi needs to be surrounded by good players. That's where I would have gone with.
yeah.
See, I wouldn't have gone after LeBron. I think I like Jalen Brown. I think he's actually a really good player. I like Maxi. Embiid, I can do without him, but I wish that they try to get somebody else instead of a LeBron James.
The dark horse in LeBron is I was hoping that Denver Nuggets would get rid of Aaron Gordon and put LeBron on the team.
Oh, interesting.
That
Yeah,
would have been that was one of the dark horse picks with that.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun season. I think the
yeah,
NBA is more competitive than it's been in many years, and so I
yeah.
like that.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm looking I'm looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward to fantasy again this year. I did decide that I'm gonna try to minimize the number of leagues. Last year I did 10, and it was 10. Wait, it was too much. I couldn't focus. Yeah.
Love it.
Well,
Um,
hey, look, I mean, we're going to try to record again next week, and we're going to talk about tight ends. We're going to talk about
quarterbacks.
quarterbacks, all of those things. Before I go, last thing Aaron Donald did practice with the LA Rams just to see if he could do it. Do you think he'll be back?
Oh yeah, he'll be back.
I
Yeah,
think
he'll be
so.
back. Yeah,
Yeah,
he'll be
that'll
back.
be
Yeah.
amazing. Aaron Donald and Miles Garrett. That's insane. Yeah. So
Okay, so that could potentially help the Rams, though, right? Because it takes off pressure from Stafford and the
yep,
offense,
yep.
and so that's the other question. I still don't trust the Kyron Williams, but I think it does kind of give you some hope into a Stafford-led offense.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right. Hey, we'll talk later. And the Sox game is still playing. The WNBA games are playing. So there's still a lot of things happening. All right.
All
We'll talk
right.
soon,
Good luck.
everyone. Bye.
right.